Okay, we're going to show our audience for tonight. We have our people here. All right, and this is about recruiting tribal foster homes. There we go. All right, my name is Payne-Hurt, and I am an ICW caseworker. But I'm also a tribal chair for Oklahoma's Region 2 ICWA Task Force. Last April, Oklahoma's ICWA Task Force traveled to New Mexico to start training sponsored by the Casey Family Foundation. It was part of their national recruitment project, and so that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. It's a great time for the ICW programs to invest more in their efforts to recruit and maintain their own tribal foster homes, so the Indian children are placed with kinship and in their cultures. This will ensure that children's best interest is served, tribal ties are protected, and that there is compliance with ICWA. So currently, there are over 11,000 children in Oklahoma foster care system. Of those children, 4,000 are identified Native American. Currently, there is not enough Native homes, to take care of these children, and they are being placed in non-ICWA compliant homes. So while we're addressing tribes in this presentation, most of you will know what ICWA means, but let's do a quick refresh on it. ICWA is the Indian Child Welfare Act. It was passed in 1978, and part of the Act's function is to govern the placement of Indian children that have been removed from their home. So the standard that is set by ICWA is referred to as placement preference, and it includes the child's extended family, members of the child's tribe, and members of another's tribe, in that order. When children are removed, placement is sought, but when these placements aren't available, then at that point children will be placed in non-ICWA compliant homes. So let's talk about why ICWA compliant is necessary. Historically, there have been systematic practices within the child welfare system to intentionally break up the Indian families. And so this includes sending thousands of children to the boarding school, starting the Carlisle boarding school in 1879. And then later in the 50s, the Child Welfare League of America and the BIA had the Indian Adoption Project. And in that project, they purposely sent Native children to non-Native homes to be adopted. So testimony from these children have spoken loudly of the damage that is done when the child's ties to family and culture are broken. So currently, while active efforts are required to find placement that is ICWA compliant, a lack of available homes means that's not always possible. And after time is spent in these non-ICWA placements, children become bonded, and then at that point, the state and the foster homes will use the fact that the children have bonded to try to keep those children in those non-ICWA homes. So let's talk about solutions. Tribes have a right through tribal state agreements to oversee their own tribal foster care programs, and this includes the recruitment and maintenance of tribal foster homes. So by engaging in these efforts and supporting the ICW programs, tribes can ensure that their children are placed in those ICWA compliant homes by having their own homes readily available. So this is an example of a recruitment flyer that we developed for the ICW program that I work for, and as you can see, this is created to appeal to Native Americans. We have a saying that you will always stand taller when you kneel to help a child, and that just is something that kind of makes others, stirs up the little feel good in their heart. And then to appeal to our Native culture, traditionally Native American people have cared for our children through extended family. So this is common in our culture, and because of that, becoming a foster parent is a way for the prospective foster homes to carry this tradition on by keeping tribal history and values alive for the next generation. And then it kind of gives some points as to what happens when you open your home. So some of the current efforts we have ongoing, I mentioned before, is the Casey Family Foundation. They chose Oklahoma as one of 5 states to take part in their national recruitment project. So this project included sending the state and tribal chairs for each 5 regions in Oklahoma to New Mexico, where recruitment plans for each region were developed and a state plan was developed. And these plans took into account demographics, barriers, and measurable outcomes. This plan was brought back to the state and implemented, and this month, October, the task force will go back to New Mexico and present the findings that will include the increase or decrease of homes, as well as the methods that worked and the methods that didn't work. So what's next? With the information, it's a perfect time for you, the tribes, to take this data and use it to implement your own recruitment plans. Each tribe in Oklahoma is assigned to a region in the state, and this map is a regional map that DHS uses, and you'll see all of your regions. Okay. If you look at the blue, that's the region 2, and that's going to be the region that I'm actually the tribal chair for. So within each region, the tribes have a tribal chair and a state chair that's part of the task force. Within the larger task force, there are regional task forces that have been formed by the tribal and state chair, and within each of these regions, they hold quarterly meetings. So in addition to the quarterly meetings, the co-chairs also offer their assistance that includes training and input, and this assistance can help each tribe to develop a recruitment plan that's specific to their culture and their location. Okay, so I want to give an example of what the plans are that we're working on, and so then you can kind of give an example of what's available to you. So our recruitment plan for Region 2, it was aimed at sibling sets and teenagers. So after going over the data for Region 2, we're able to see that these were the areas in our region that homes seem to be lacking most. We looked at the populations that we would need to serve those children. So for teenagers, we could recruit from older people. Those are the 40 to 60-year-olds that may be single. Teenage girls in foster care a lot of times will have hard times trusting men. So a single older woman could invest wisdom in a teenager would be perfect fit for a teenage girl. For sibling groups, we were looking for a slightly younger demographic, but yet those that had experience to handle groups. So this would be the 30 to 40-year-old. And ideally couples, because multiple children does mean kind of a team effort is necessary and would be best. We discussed ways to recruit these homes, including attending powwows, Indian churches, handing out brochures and flyers. For one tribe's annual dance, we handed out water bottles, and we took the opportunity while we were doing that to discuss what we do in our ICW department and the need for Native foster homes. We also focused on what was necessary to maintain our current homes, including support services and helping develop our kinship placements into foster care placements. Our measurable outcome of all of this was an expected 10% increase in our homes. And so within the tribes in Region 2, we were able to meet that goal from April to October. So our outcome. Our goal here today is to have this discussion and help you as the tribe to learn how to increase your available tribal homes, which ensure that Indian children are able to grow up in their culture and maintain tribal ties. Now you are aware of the ongoing work, and this is something that, so we ask, is this something that you are willing to do to let us help you take part in for your tribe's children? Do we have any questions?